Hey, I'm Gavin Good, and this is my assignment 2 editing statement. Let's get right to it. Assignment 2 for me was more straightforward than assignment 1, and I was much more confident in just going about getting everything I needed for the assignment because I was much more familiar with my camera and just really like what I would actually need to get the shots that I wanted. And I also I wouldn't say I formulated like a set plan of everything I wanted for each shot, but I just knew more of what each requirement meant. Whereas in the first assignment, there were some things like hard and soft shadows that I didn't even know what those were before they were explained in class. This time around, I at least had a pretty basic understanding of what everything was. So I'll get right into uh, basically my own critique here. Um, I really like the portrait shot I did for this one, um, mostly because I've never taken pictures of a person, like, I've never taken a portrait of a person before. And I thought, like, immediately was getting shots that I liked in a pretty good lighting and a good setting. And it was actually pretty easy. I thought getting a good portrait might be kind of hard because it would be hard to get something unique. But I just told my subject to just, like, basically just sit there, and I just did a bunch of different shots, and it was good, and it worked out well. And one thing from that I was happy with was in the beginning of shooting for the portrait. The lighting was okay, but I ended up having my subject like move, and I personally got lower to the ground and just kind of crouched as I was taking the shots, and then the lighting looked a lot better. I'm not exactly sure why, but oh wait, actually I do remember what I did. I took it off. I took the camera off the P mode and I put it in auto, and it just made it a lot better because it fixed the exposure just right. Um, so for the next shot, which was the real moment shot. This one was actually my favorite thing about this whole project because it was really stressing me out. And then um, it was the morning before we were supposed to have everything due, and I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So I just started like walking out on Green Street, and I tried to um, just basically sit at Potbelly and just get people talking and just living their lives and interacting. And it was going horribly. Everyone I like took a picture of, either the picture was blurry or I wouldn't be able to get it fast enough, and then people would look at me like, "Who are you?" and give me like a crazy look, which was weird. So I just started. I was like, I'm running out of time. I'm just gonna go to the quad, and because there's a ton of people there. And I was walking to the quad when I passed this group of guys, just like um, lounging around outside of a liquor store, just smoking cigarettes, and I just started taking pictures of them, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just like here. I'm just taking pictures for a journalism assignment of people just chilling and interacting." And so I started talking to them, and two of them were townies. They were just chilling, and then another one was a Snapple delivery guy, and they were just like talking about really random things, including just like what was going on with the delivery man that day and how his job was going. But that was my favorite moment because um, it was just fun and it was real. And I had no reason to talk to those people other than for this assignment. So I thought that that was really interesting, and it was some real like it was a real journalism moment because that's something that I'm going to be out doing and out talking to random people all the time, and that's something that it was good practice to get more comfortable with it. My location shot I struggled with at the beginning because um, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to take a shot. I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted to take this shot, which I did from the corner flag of a soccer field. And I thought it would be interesting because there was color guard practice going on at the same time. But they kept like waving their flags around, and it was like they never got. I was trying to get a picture with their flags up, and either it was blurry every time or it just their flags weren't like up when I was wanting to take the picture. And I finally just got a good shot of that just through persistence, and I just liked that it was a really interesting view of the soccer field. And then for the different angles of an object, I looked at this bike. First, I actually took them off a trash can, and they're fine. Like I took a really high angled shot, a low angled shot, and then kind of just a shot where the trash can was just off centered. And though they were fine, they worked, but they were just really boring. So I found this bike that it was like an old looking cool bike. So I just took a bunch of shots of that. I took a telephoto shot. I took a wide angle that I didn't use. I took one from straight above it that I didn't use. Took some from just really a ton of angles around that, and I really liked the close up that I got, and I like the telephoto one I have because there's a really nice shine on the bike at the time too. And then for the last picture, which was the phone candid, I was just outside walking to go to my girlfriend's apartment, and I live right behind Red Lions, so I was out there, and there was like a huge scene of all these emergency vehicles because someone got too drunk and had to go get medical attention because they passed out. So that was really interesting because it was a real like news scene unfolding as it happened, and I just was just walking. I just walked outside my apartment, and it was right there. It was easy. And for the audio on this, I think that's where I struggled the most. Not in terms of finding things to get, but just in terms of the quality of the audio because I never really recorded anything. So I definitely could have used some tips like turning off my phone and my subject's phone when she was talking about her favorite things, which is poetry. And I do really like the audio of a cricket I got because I was just walking outside my frat one night going home, and there were a ton of crickets, and I was like, I know BKJ said, like, don't try to get all these crickets chirping because you won't get good enough audio because they're too far away. But I just, like, was really quiet, and I just moved towards where one of the sounds were from the cricket, and I got what I think is a pretty good recording of it. And then the audio for Civilization was pretty easy. I just went to Starbucks, or no, not Starbucks, Potbelly, and while I was ordering a sandwich, I just recorded what was going on there. Or maybe it was Starbucks. Oh, it's in the caption. Anyway, yeah, and that went easily, and then the rest of the audio was just, I felt like I got decent audio, but now that I know more of, oh, one thing I should have done that I didn't do when I was taking the audio, except for the cricket audio, I used my headphones, but I didn't use my headphones for the other ones. And I really should have because the decibels were all wrong and the sounds were all wrong, and I had to adjust that all in the Adobe program. So yeah, but overall I think the assignment went better, and I think that I've already improved from the beginning of class now, and I really know a lot more about working a camera and being a photojournalist and video journalist than I did at the start of class. And ultimately my goal is to just become someone who can produce multimedia content for companies so I can make myself more of a well-rounded journalist, and I think I'm well on the way to doing that.